Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead. Well, money's tight and times are hard. Here's another making it stretch meal. And I don't want any emails about this. Hot dog soup. Okay, so here's what we got. Can of diced tomatoes, 99 cents. 50 cents worth of home dehydrated vegetables, 2 onions, a quart broth. I'm not even going to say put a cost on this other than the jar and the use of the 20 cents for the lid. So 20 cents because this was made from scraps. And when Papa and I buy hot dogs, now these hot dogs are fairly expensive, but there's nothing stopping you from using cheap ones. Now when we buy these, they come usually in a package of 6, some in a package of 5. These are Schneider's Juicy Jumbos. Well, we eat 2 each, and that leaves 2. All right, first things first. We're going to open my quart of vegetable broth. All right, and then we're going to get that going on high. Now this is noon hour, folks, but this crock doesn't necessarily like to cooperate with temperatures. So in goes our can of tomatoes. Now I'm going to tell you a story. Like I said, you can use whatever hot dogs floats your boat, but these are just leftovers. When my kids were little, they weren't as fond of macaroni and tomatoes as I was. So I came up with this when we were really broke. And I would take a couple of hot dogs and a can of tomatoes. I didn't usually put the broth in, but this is soup. And then I would add a couple of cups of, or a cup or so of frozen mixed vegetables from the freezer. And this is pretty much exactly how I'd make it, only except right now I'm making it into a broth, or I'm adding broth because of the dehydrated vegetables, right? If you were using frozen mixed vegetables, you wouldn't have to add the broth, but it is a nice addition for nutrients. Remember, that broth was made from celery and carrot peels and stuff. And now we're just going to chunk our onions in. One of the reasons we chunk our onions is that if we give leftovers to Gracie, we can pick the onions out because they're not good for dogs. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. Now remember, those are dehydrated mixed vegetables. That means there's celery in there too, I believe. 3-finger pinch of salt. And when this comes up to a boil, and just before we're ready to eat, I will throw in a half a cup of macaroni elbows. Hot dog soup. I'm telling you, it is cheap, even with those expensive hot dogs. So I'll figure it out for you, but even so, if you used a couple of cheaper hot dogs, the price will go down. Now, let's get that on there. And I like to cover my crock pot to make a more of an oven effect. Alrighty. Now I put a handful of macaroni elbows in here. Let's dish up Papa some. Hot dog soup. Believe it or not, there's a lot of veggies in there. Come and get it, Papa. Careful, it's really, really hot, Howard.
Why are you making me eat it right away?
It's really cheap. It's really cheap, but nutritious food.
Tasty.
Thank you, dear. I'll do the breakdown for you, but I'm pretty sure this whole crock pot of soup didn't cost $3. And I was pretty darn close. The hot dogs I used cost me $1. 22 cents for the onions, 20 cents for the lid on the broth, 99 cents for tomatoes, Seasonings 20 cents, vegetables 50 cents, 15 cents worth of pasta, giving me a grand total of $3.26. Now remember, I used really expensive hot dogs. Normally, when you can get hot dogs on sale for 99 cents for a package of 12. Okay? But I used really expensive ones. You don't even have to use hot dogs. You can take a 99-cent can of diced ham or diced flakes of chicken or anything like that. Diced ham lunch meat, piece of bologna, whatever you have on hand to put a protein in there. Hard-boiled eggs diced in. Anything like that, okay? I'm telling you, this meal will feed 3 people for under $3 if you use cheaper meat. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, and that's how you make a pot of soup stretch with hot dogs or lunch meat or whatever you got on hand. Take care. God bless.